Welcome to Made. My name is Melanie. I'm a digital artist working in the animation industry. Today's video, I'm going to walk you through my painting process for this background / animation for my Lofi channel. It's going to be just a very chill video, so sit back, relax, or watch this while you're working on something, and let's get started. I actually forgot to record the beginning of this background, so this is kind of like an hour. I don't know, I forget how much time I've already poured into this, but I made a Blender model, and in the beginning you just saw me model the keyboard a little more because I found drawing that at that angle is a little hard for me, and I also want to make sure that I have the correct number of keys on there. And after that, I just took a screenshot of that Blender model and drew over it. This will be my first rough pass. I like using different colors for anything that's overlapping each other. It's just easier for my eyes and my brain to organize things. Here is a second pass. I think this will be the final line art as well before I go into painting. At this stage, I was actually not sure if I want to keep the line or not for the final painting. In the end, I decided not to keep the lines. So this line art is not going to be as clean as I possibly can make it. And I'm actually starting to get a bit tired, so I started cleaning my desk. My cat Mochi jumps on my desk all the time, so she leaves a bunch of her fur on my desk all the time. Getting back to this drawing, I just realized I didn't even explain what I'm thinking here. The story moment for the scene is basically Relaxo, the axolotl character, is reading a book by the window, and this is inspired by the Lo-Fi Girl by the Window video. If you have listened to Lo-Fi, you have to have come across Lo-Fi Girl, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. For Relaxo though, I want this to look like an underwater scene, and at this point I want it to be underwater, but I haven't really thought about if I want it to be under the ocean or the lake. I just added a bunch of underwater plants in there, and you can see the barnacles on the speakers as well, just to make everything feel like it's in the water somewhere. But later on, I actually changed the plants to be more lake plants. So this is what the line arts look like before I move on to painting. It's not super clean, but again, I don't intend to keep the line art. It's just clean enough for me to understand what's going on. And here I started with a rough color. I started doing this, start doing this all the time because it's just easier, not having to think about the layers. Everything's on the same layer. It's a very fast way for me to get the image in my head to be on the paper. I found I actually save a lot of time this way instead of trying to figure out the color as I go. I spent so much time just painting these plants, but I ended up just throwing these layers away anyway. And I tried to outline the character, but I didn't keep this layer. I ended up having to redraw the line art on Relaxo because I just feel like the line art was too thick. For Relaxo, the character, I decided to keep the line arts kind of like the anime style where the background will be fully rendered, but the characters actually are cel shaded or cel painted. I don't know actually the professional word for it, but it's just easier for me to animate this. Oh, here you can see that I'm pretty much filled everything in the scene, and I've changed the seaweed into this kind of lily pad plants that you'll see in lakes. And the reason is axolotls are lake creatures. I just want her to be living in her natural habitat. Me and my partner are still developing her story. She is looking for someone. She will be on a journey, but occasionally she will go home and relax. This is where she grows up as well. Since I'm a painter and my partner is a musician, I try to put things in there that kind of represent the both of us. So I put a CD player in there for the music and that model thingy, wooden model thingy on the top for the artist side of me. And you see a bunch of pens and pencils in the foreground. And for these books, I forgot why I turned them upside down. I think they shouldn't be, but I kind of like them to be that way in case the text is too distracting. Because the focal point will be Relaxo, I don't want anything else to kind of distract your attention from our main character. Oh, the book. I initially had the book to be super slanted because I don't want anything to be all 90 degrees perpendicular to each other, but I feel like it was too slanted. It would be hard for her to read anyway, so. And I also tried animating, just was doing a little test on how to animate the pages. I also ended up making the book much smaller, by the way. The lighting situation here will be having some cool blue light coming from the window and a warm light coming from the lamp. The main light source will be from the lamp, so everything will be really warmly lit so it looks really cozy. Painting this keyboard was kind of difficult. I don't want to paint every single key, but if I don't, I just feel like everything kind of stick together. I don't know, I spent a lot of time trying to make it look just right. And if you saw my other painting, you know that Relaxo likes drinking these little juice boxes. I have to add it in there. I also try to keep the foreground detail to a minimum. Oh, I also decided to make these pencil holders to be wooden, like wood blocks. I did some research about what it will look like in an aquarium. If you have an aquarium and you keep axolotls or whatever fish, shrimps in there, and I see a lot of wood blocks. I actually don't have an aquarium, so I have to Google it. And I think the woodlocks would just make so much sense. We're almost done here. I didn't end up finish recording this painting process anyway, but final painting coming up in a second. Here is version 1 of this painting. I did end up changing a lot of it just because some things don't feel right to me. First of all, the lamp light. I just don't think lamp light, it just doesn't look right. So I googled more images and I found out lamplight are not likely to have this kind of sharp cone shape. So I ended up deleting this cone shaped light and just have the general area where I think the lamp light would touch to be lit up. And the Relaxo's tail also look a bit different. And this is the version 2. I also made some color adjustments. I didn't want her to look so saturated anymore. I made the lid size warmer and the shadow side more desaturated. Her tail also look a bit different if you notice, and the book, I forgot if it was bigger or smaller already. That this will be the final size of the book, and Relaxo's arm looks a bit different too. Her hand is now supporting her chin. But yeah, this is the final version. And then I took that file to be animated in Procreate Dreams. It's still a learning process for me, so I didn't feel like recording it, the animating process, especially because my iPad is kind of old, especially for Procreate Dreams. I don't want to put even more pressure onto my iPad. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. I really had a lot of fun making this background actually, even though the painting process was kind of painful. Every time I finish, in the process of finishing a painting, especially during the rendering stage, I just feel like I'm never going to finish it. It's just gonna take forever. But after I finished it, I love it so much. I think this is one of my favorite backgrounds I painted so far for our Lofi channel, Lofi Axel. So if you want to check out our channel, I will link it down below. There's also a full album of lo-fi songs that my partner made for this background that will keep you company while you work or while you study. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.